Welcome back to the Kings of Horror.
Every day throughout the month of October, Ryan and I have been reviewing a different theatrically released Stephen King horror movie.
And in this episode, sometimes dead is better, as we learn in Pet Sematary. Ooh. This 1989 film was directed by Mary Lambert and scripted by Stephen King. A gruesome EC Comics-like tale of loss and resurrection, Pet Sematary follows Lewis Creed, a doctor and family man who, thanks to his neighbor Judd, discovers not only a pet cemetery, but a Native American burial ground deep in the woods that can bring the dead back to life. This proves useful and rather harmless when the family cat dies, but when Lewis loses his son, things take a warped and tragic turn. One part zombie tale, one part ghost tale. There's everything in this film, and that's why I love Pet Sematary. I think Mary Lambert brings a vicious sense of style, a vicious voice to it all. It's gruesome, it's gnarly, there's all sorts of things to like about Pet Sematary, except for the performances. If this had a do-over, I would just recast everyone. I think everybody is completely competent, but revisiting it for the 30th time, the performances come across as rather stale.
But Fred Gwynne is really good in this movie.
He's terrific in it.
He's fantastic. He creates like this weird, wonderful archittype of a character who knows...
A main character.
Definitively Maine.
I mean,
okay. Maine with an E.
Yes, Maine with an E.
But yeah, the rest of the cast in this film is competent.
Yeah.
They're fine, but it feels like if you would put really top-flight, excellent actors in this movie, it would really sell itself. And yet the reason why I like Pet Sematary, you didn't really mention it, is that this is a film that deals in a very confrontational way with death and grieving and loss in a way that most films are kind of afraid to because it's depressing. This is a really melancholy and morose film.
And I love the conflicts that are at play between husband and wife, you know, about the handling of death, handling of religion, handling of what's going to come after.
And how you teach your kids.
Yes.
A lot of this movie is about the denial of death and how you don't want your kid to have to deal with death. And I like the idea of treating a pet as this sort of universal symbol of this is the first time your child's going to encounter death, and turning it into a coming-of-age tale in a way.
It's the norm, yeah, absolutely. That's when most kids learn about death.
Absolutely.
Death of a goldfish or death of a cat.
Yeah, but it's creepy, it's wonderfully directed. If I have one serious problem with it, and again, even the cast I like, they're fine. It's the Ramones song at the end. It's a great song. They do a song for Pet Sematary called Pet Sematary, and it's really fun. But it cuts from a really terrible, sad, shocking moment into a fun punk rock song. And it feels like if you would just let it sit there, it would have ended on a much stronger, more dramatic note.
I think it caps what is mostly kind of a cool punk rock movie as well, though. I mean, like, I like the style. I love, and I mentioned this earlier, Mary Lambert's voice that she brings to it. I think that it's kind of like hey, I can play with the big boys. And she does that with kind of its bold approach to showing like a killer kid and the violence and all of that stuff. The only problem I have is Pascal, the ghost. The ghost that's constantly around, giving everybody guidance.
Well, it's another false cavalry charge.
Yes.
And yet it feels kind of out of place because, again, we have the central premise of the dead are coming back to life, but we also have a ghost and we have a psychic kid, and they don't really go anywhere, and that's kind of frustrating.
He also kills that tone that you're also talking about. You know, I mean, he comes in, he's like, well, this is the end of the line for me, and it's like, oh, really?
He does give it a really good Bridge on the River Kwai ending, though. It's like, damn it, no!
Oh, God. I remember what's interesting is watching it as a kid, when I saw it opening night when it first opened, I love Pascal. Because he was almost taking the fear down a couple notches because I was terrified. But now as an adult watching it, I'm kind of like, no, this is completely unnecessary.
Pet Sematary is, I think, a really, really great movie. It's just shy of a classic. I give it 4 Kings. I think what it deals with exceptionally well. And when it falls flat, it doesn't really fall that flat. It just could be better.
Yeah, I completely agree with Bibbs here. 4 out of 5 Kings for me. I think it holds up really well, even though the wooden performances kind of bog it down.
All right. Come back tomorrow when we're going to be talking about Graveyard Shift. Yay. Yay.